From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. You can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. If you've had an experience, fill out a Sightlines report. We got much more coming soon as well. Tonight's show is brought to you by Mighty Moose Beard Oil Company. It's 100% Canadian, 100% natural, taking care of beards around the world. Visit MightyMooseBeard.com. Use promo code SOR2019 today. What's it like to live a life surrounded by ghosts and other strange encounters? What's it like to live a life of criticism with people calling you a fake or a liar? What's it like living a life where you see dead people? You know, we have many intuitive people listening tonight, as they do every night. Some may even keep their abilities silent because they're tired of the ridicule that comes along with being psychic. Being psychic isn't an easy life. So for those who don't understand what it's like, we're joined by two lovely ladies who live this every day. We have Angel K, and from Detroit Paranormal Expeditions, her second time on the show, Brandie Marie. These ladies will also share some of their strangest encounters with us as well. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the news with the SOR Newswire. Angel K, Brandie Marie, thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. Much love to both of you. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Hi. Wonderful.
Doing great.
Wonderful.
How are you?
I am good. And Brandie, you and I got to know each other a couple years ago when we had Todd and everybody from Detroit Paranormal Expeditions on Spaced Out Radio, and really enjoyed that interview. And Angel, you have been a fan of this show. You participated in the chat rooms, you hang out, and for a lot of people who don't know, you're my personal guru. That's the first time
yes. I've watched your show. I've supported you from pretty much the beginning. A huge fan. And we have had a chance to work together a few times and do some personal readings and things like that.
Absolutely. And you know what? One of the things that I try and do is I always like to have 2 or 3 psychic people that I'm kind of close to, kind of in the hopper, just in case. You know, I like a reading every now and again. I know it may sound weird and woo-filled, but I like to have a reading every now and again. And with this show, this is kind of the way I test out what is going on. Do I bring these people on? Okay, give me a reading. So let's see how accurate you could be. And I have to tell the audience, and I'm going to brag about Angel here for a quick second. Last year, we had on our ghost tour a real dark psychic lady, like saw everything in darkness. Everything was evil. Everything was demonic. Well, she came on our psychic tour and she caused, or not our psychic tour, our ghost tour that I run, and she caused a lot of trouble. She actually crossed over a spirit that didn't want to be crossed over. And literally the entire building went haywire. And so I was scrolling through Facebook. Okay, who's psychic? Who do I know? Who's on Messenger that I know? And literally one of the first 2 names that popped up was Angel. So Angel is in Missouri. That's about as specific as I'm going to get. And here I am in the middle of nowhere, British Columbia. She has no idea what the museum looks like, no idea what the name looks like. And I start explaining to her what's going on. And not even 2 minutes in, she is describing the entire building that I'm in. The floor, the sounds of the creaks on the floor, what's on the walls, what's happening, and everything. It was absolutely insane, crazy. And I'm going through this, and I'm like, where's the camera? Where are you hiding here, Angel? Are you hiding in the ceiling? What's going on? And I couldn't believe how accurate you were. And what we had learned that night was that Angel was able to contact the spirit that was crossed over because she the spirit, her name is Mary, was not crossed over to the other side. She was crossed over into a real dark purgatory type area, if you remember that, Angel.
Yes, I do.
So, go ahead. You tell your side.
It was, I remember when you first contacted me, a strong smell of smoke and fire. Didn't you tell me there was a fire there at one point, or it was a firehouse? I can't remember now.
Yeah, there was a fire in that building a while ago, yes.
Yes, and, everything just started coming through crystal clear. I remember the cowboy, very specifically the cowboy. But whenever I started looking for your lady, she definitely was not crossed over, and she was. It's hard to describe what. Basically, she was just surrounded by darkness, and so I just reached out, grabbed her, and brought her back, and took a minute to get her back to where I think she ended up in the house instead of back in her room, but we got her back where she needed to be.
Well, it was very, very interesting what happened that day, and it was weird because, between you and Eric Cooper's team from Forest Moon Paranormal that does a lot of astral travel, I actually had all of you. Do you remember? I had you actually go around to every spirit on the building, or not in the building, but in the museum, because our museum literally has about 8 different buildings on it. Not all of them we use for the tour, but you actually went and chatted with almost every spirit there and said, if you see this lady, do not follow her. This is what's going to happen. And you got some interesting responses from that, Angel.
I did. Especially from, and the name escapes me, but the gentleman that hangs out in the room by Mary's.
Willie,
yes. He was extremely upset. Mumbly at first, but then, he came around and he talked about, bring her back. I want her back. But again, back to the cowboy. The cowboy was he really was a kind of a key factor in, directing me and giving me insight and information from the location. But there is that darker aspect that hangs out in the raft, like in the catwalk up there. Do you still have issues with him?
No, he did scare somebody the other day on the tour. I was doing a private tour with about 15 different ladies, all business ladies, and they came down on a bus for a tour. And the one lady went upstairs into the barn, saw the dude on the catwalk, she said that he looked her straight in the eye, and she ran down out of the building. I thought I had a good chuckle with that. I mean, there's a seriousness that goes along with it, but I did have a good chuckle with it. I'm not going to lie.
Well, he's very intimidating, and he does bow up whenever he's confronted. So I could definitely see that. Him and I get along pretty well. But let's move on, because it's more about you and Brandie tonight, and we're going to get into a lot of spirituality. For those who are expecting readings, we're not doing readings tonight. We don't do readings on this show because we're more about the information than we are about the entertainment, even though we're entertaining as heck. Let me tell you that. Brandie, I want to bring you in here for a second, and Angel, I'll come back to you in a moment. You are somebody who works with Detroit Paranormal Expeditions. You live in a very haunted city in Motown there. There's a lot going on. When you decided to get into the paranormal, to use your gifts that you have as being a psychic intuitive, what was your thoughts and reasoning for doing that?
Honestly, for as long as I can remember, I was 4 or 5 years old, and I've always had those abilities to be able to hear them and see them. I would have to say probably when I was about 10, my grandmother had passed away. And it just made me that more interested into doing that so I can communicate with her, or at least try to communicate with her, which really did never happen. because as psychic mediums know, it's harder for us to contact our own loved ones as opposed to everybody else's. But I shut it down a little bit, like in my teens, and then maybe in my early 20s, probably about 24, 25, I opened them back up because I had noticed that it had got more intense. And no matter how much I blocked them or try to ignore it, it just wasn't happening. I was getting more things as I would go to the grocery store, or I would just be in crowds of people. Messages was coming through, and then I would talk to that person, and it would make them happy, and they got closure and healing from it. So that intrigued me even more to doing it because I wanted to get out there to help others.
Very interesting. You mentioned that you want to help others, and we're going to get into a lot of that tonight because being a psychic medium is not all rosy in what it's made up to be. And we're going to get into that a lot tonight because, you know, out of all the psychic mediums that we have had on this show, we've never got to the emotional challenges, the physical challenges, the lifetime challenges that people such as yourselves have had. And that's kind of where I want to go with this tonight. But Angel, when did you first learn that you had intuitive abilities?
I was around 4 years old. I saw what turned out to be a great-great-grandmother at the foot of my bed. And, you know, as growing up, you see things that other people don't, and you learn really quickly that, you know, hey, do you see that guy right there? And they don't see it. So you learn really quickly that other people aren't seeing what you do. They don't have the capability that you do. And so you kind of learn to keep it to yourself so that you don't appear crazy. But over the years, like Brandie said, I went through phases where I just kind of shut it off. I always had a really strong empathic side, so I never was able to shut off feeling others' emotions and things like that. So that can be difficult whenever you're growing up, especially, you know, going into teenager, being in high school. You kind of always know what people are thinking about you or how they feel about you. And so it can make it difficult. And then I think what really, after my divorce, it really kind of kicked into high gear, and it was at that point I couldn't really shut it off, and decided that, you know, I would join a paranormal team and kind of go into that aspect of things and see where it went.
Very cool. Very cool. So, you know, ladies, I think it's, you know, there's a lot of people out there who do not believe what it's like to have this opinion of being psychic. There's a lot of people who believe that, you know, you should be able to read the lottery numbers or you know, predict certain things before they happen. And, you know, sometimes I wonder that as well because, you know, I am skeptical. Although I have had a number of experiences that I cannot explain, and you know, it's a little bit of a different topic for me because I'm so used to talking about other things that I've kind of forgotten about the whole psychic thing, and we haven't done a show on this in so long. But for the critics out there, the people who seem to have very reasonable, logical arguments against what you go through, Brandie, and what you see and what you feel, how do you combat that? Combat's the wrong word. How do you go about deflecting that criticism that might be, especially for some, very rightfully so?
You know, I mean, to be honest with you, Dave, I have, over the years when I first started out and stuff, I used to get so offended by people's opinions about it. And now it's just, I got to the point to where it's like, you know what, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You know, if you don't believe, that's fine. A lot of people don't because they've never had anything happen to them, and they're not open enough for that to happen. Usually, you know, I do my thing, and if people see it, and I kind of make people believers, put it that way. I've had many say, well, this has never happened to me. I've never had a reading, or I've never, I don't believe in it. And then I'm like, okay, well, you want to give it a shot? I can show you, and then I kind of do a small read, and then I make them a believer, and they're like, oh my God, but, you have to be skeptic on some level, even as a psychic medium. You know what I mean? We have to, because that's what's going to decipher what's real and what's not. To an degree, I would have to say. But I don't take anything to heart, only because I've simply learned that if I have to keep defending myself, I'm not being true to myself. Does that make sense? Like, I have enough faith in myself to where it doesn't bother me what other people think. I'm going to be me regardless. And that's it's not even their issue or their fault, because like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinions, their beliefs, their thoughts, and I respect that fully, 100%.
Angel, what's your thoughts on that? How do you deal with the skepticism, the critiques?
I've actually had to deal with that a lot more recently than I would like to admit. But in the beginning, it bothered me when someone would find out I was psychic. They'd make the offhanded joke about the lottery, or, you should have known that. You should have seen that coming. One, it's hurtful, because they're people that they're your friends. They, if they don't believe that you can do this, then that shows they don't trust you. But for other people, I've had to prove myself a lot, working with different paranormal teams. They're like, well, I need you to prove that, you're real. And I get that and understand it, and I don't mind doing that. But I definitely have had to learn to let it roll off, because I've lost friendships, I've lost relationships because of what I do or what I am. And it can be a tough pill to swallow. So you kind of got to thicken up your skin, and you've got to own who you are, and just accept that not everyone will accept you for that. It's a little difficult for me to talk about it, actually. I'm at the point to where I am who I am. I'm going to be what I am, and people will either love me or not.
We'll get more into that whole emotional side with everything in a little bit. But Brandie, I want to ask you, growing up with this, you said you started noticing it around 10 or 12 years old when it really started picking up for you. Living a childhood with this ability and going from childhood, you said you turned it off in your teenage years for a little while. What was it like when people came up to you and said, and you would say, your grandma's here to say hello, or something along those lines? Because for a lot of people, they would be just devastated or mortified that you would know this or would be making it up, especially as a kid.
Well, see, how it all started was like with my mom. I'm a fourth generation on my mom's side. But because my mom's side, it was very strong Catholic, they thought it was a sin. So it was, the devil's work, evil. So they didn't, they wasn't into it like I was. My mom was very psychic medium and empathic, but she didn't use it. But she knew that I had that ability, because every time that I would go play with my cousins or my brother in the playroom downstairs in our house, because my house was very active, very, it just had so much there, that I would come out of the playroom and I would tell her, Mom, there's a guy in there talking to us, and she would be like, oh, Brandie, just ignore him, go play. So I'm like, okay, well, am I the only one that's like seeing him, or am I going crazy? And so it just kind of like, it was a normal routine. And especially like at night, when I went to bed, I would see this man in the corner of my room every single night. He had a white top hat, white jacket, very tall, white cane. everything. It was almost, now that I'm older, I know that he was a guide for me. But back then, it kind of scared me, so I would always scream for my mom, and she would come in and, tell me that I'd be all right, just ignore him, and stuff to that degree. But pretty much it was just very normal, to my mom at least. I never really said anything to any of my other family members. It was more or less just my mom, because I think it just felt more comfortable, because I knew she understood where I was coming from. But it wasn't just like, okay, well, go play. So I would go play and just ignore it. You know what I mean?
Right. We got about 2 minutes left before we go to break at the bottom of the hour. Angel K and Brandie Marie are here talking intuitive lives tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Angel, for you, when you had to start dealing with this as a child and kind of, going through the entire motions and the emotions that go along with that, I mean, childhood is tough. I wouldn't want to be a child today. I mean, you and I are relatively the same age. We're both still incredibly good looking, which is amazing, especially for me. And, I'm a solid 5.4 on the scale, and I'll take that at 46 years old. But nonetheless, when you started noticing it as a child, we got about 90 seconds here. How did it affect your childhood with friends and other people who were thinking you just had maybe a real overactive imagination?
I was kind of a sensitive kid. Like, as I said, you can feel the emotions. And so whenever you would mention something about seeing, specifically one thing that stands out for me real quick, we went on a field trip when I was in 6th grade or 8th grade to a national battlefield. And I remember standing there by the river and seeing the soldier walk through the water. And I'm like, does anybody see the guy walking down the river? And they all look at me like I'm crazy. So you really... you learn to keep things to yourself because you don't want to appear that way. My mom would just say, don't talk about it. Don't tell people that, So. Oh,
so your parents knew?
My mother did. My father didn't know until recently, but my mom knew. And she would just tell me, oh, don't say that. People will think the wrong thing. So you learned really quickly that you had to stifle things and you weren't free to speak. So you became quiet. I was more of the observer.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to get you ladies to hold on right now because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Angel K, Brandie Marie, we are talking intuitive lives. What's it like to be psychic? We're going to find out next from these two lovely ladies on Spaced Out Radio.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot THAL, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Move over, brother! and let me own Saturday night. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com. Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters right here in the frozen Canadian tundra. No snow yet, but it's just fun to say. Reminder to all of you, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free YouTube channel at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. You can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily, and so much more. Tonight we are talking about intuitive lives. Psychics Angel K and Brandie Marie are with us to go and figure out what it's like to live with daily intuition. Ladies, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
All right. Brandie, I want to start with you on this one because, you know, for a lot of people who do not understand what intuition is, okay, and I don't even think there's a lot of psychic people who really understand. You know, there's a lot of people out there who will say, you know, I don't believe in this stuff. I don't believe it. It's just coincidence. And, you know, I know that one time I said that my child was going to get in an accident, and next thing I know, I'm getting a call from the police that my child had been, you know, injured at school or something along those lines, and I just knew about it. We all seem to have that type of innate feeling, which, in my mind, is intuitive. But for somebody like you, how do you break down intuition?
Well, like with me and how I describe it to people is like say if when you're a kid or when you go to do something, like say, okay, I'm driving on the freeway and something is just telling me to get off the freeway. But then in my head, I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll just go. Okay, that's the difference right there. That first thing that comes to you, that's your intuition. The other thing that's going in and it's kind of disagreeing, like, no, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. That's your mind. That's what you don't want to listen to. You want to listen to your intuition, that first thought. When you second guess yourself on anything that you say or you do, you're going against your intuition.
Okay, so when you are looking at your own intuition as, say, someone who doesn't fully understand or comprehend what it's like to live in, say, your shoes, how do you talk to people to explain what you go through on a daily basis?
Well, I personally, I live off of my intuition 100%. That's all I've learned how to do. That's, you know, I have learned that if I don't, and I've learned that if I second guess myself, most of the time I get myself in trouble, which is not a good thing. Or I've just had bad things happen, or it just wasn't in my best interest. So I just started to listen to my intuition, and ever since then, things been really good. You know, you have to always go with your intuition. That's the number one key. That's the most important thing that Angel and I, or anybody that is psychic, medium, or have abilities, preach probably 95% of the time, is the intuition. That's the key to everything.
Angel, I want to ask you about that because, you know, for a lot of people who are questioning whether or not this is an actual real state, how real is this to you? Like, what do you go through on a daily basis?
I'm with Brandie on, you know, I trust my intuition. I follow it. When I don't, it seems to backfire on me. One of the things she mentioned was being on the highway and really needing to exit. And I have a kind of an experience to go on with that. Being on the highway, I kept saying, I want off the highway. I want off the highway. The closer to town we got, the more edgy I got. And I kept telling my husband, please, you know, can we just get off at this exit? And he's like, no. And about 4 minutes later, we were driving off the side of the highway with everybody else, and I literally watched a man die in the middle of the street. He flew out of his vehicle and died right there. We were right behind him. And so for me, anytime I get the vibe to take a different route or to get off the highway, or, hey, leave 5 minutes later, or do something like that. I always follow that just because of my experience. I've not followed my intuition a time or two, and hey, let's just say I had a really bad horse riding accident and ended up in the hospital. So when you get that deep gut feeling that something's not right, really, really listen to it. I know that some people with anxiety can experience similar things, but if you pay attention to your body and you really get to know yourself on a really deep level, you'll know the difference between anxiety and true gut intuition.
That I find kind of intriguing. Like, what do you mean inside you will get to know? How would somebody even start that search?
Well, it's kind of like a mentor I had several years ago. It's kind of like learning your alphabet. You keep a journal. You write down when you get feelings or you're doing readings or you see things, write them down, figure out what that means to you. For example, whenever I do a reading or I see somebody out in public and, they have like this blue burst around them, like kind of sitting around their shoulder, that for me is a sign that they've experienced the loss of a child. And it can be a man or a woman. It doesn't just have to be a woman that I see that around. So the key is to really learn what things mean to you. If you get like, sometimes I'll get a song that plays in my head and that'll have a certain kind of meaning to me as to what, I hear that song, this is what's going to happen. But it's all about journaling, really setting focus on what you get and what the meanings are to you. So really learning what your vibes are, because I get information in a lot of different ways. I can see it as a movie playing in my head. I physically see spirit. Sometimes I can just literally sit here and describe them without a spirit presenting itself. So it's really important that you document and you journal and you learn.
Okay, explain the journaling and learning about it. Because I know for me, all right, I know I've had some strange hoodoo type weird stuff happen, but I've never felt the urge to get a journal and start writing this down. Now, I've been told that by many people, but I'm just too stubborn and lazy, to be honest with you. I really am. I can admit that. So with people who are trying to figure out their own style, their own intuition, their own learning of themselves, how does one start this? How does one look inside themselves that deeply to find, especially if they're on their own and they don't know anybody to talk to about it?
Well, the best way to do that to start is to really just journal, document, journal, date your entries, and, a few months down the road, go back and look and see if you can find patterns in what you're seeing. Like I said, I see the blue burst. That means a loss of a child. And gradually over time, as I was journaling, that's how I come to the conclusion that, oh, hey, every time I see that, that's what I get from them. It's just really important to, like I said, journal and then go back and read. You can find the pattern. It's kind of like learning an alphabet. A is for apple, but in this instance, blue burst is for child loss. Does it make sense?
Kind of does. Brandie, what's your thoughts on that?
What was that again? Hold on. I'm sorry. My cat is sitting up in here.
Oh, okay. In regards to journaling and taking care of your own intuition to try and figure out the timelines, try and figure out what's going on internally within your own soul tonight.
To be honest with you, I never really had to journal. I've always just did what I did. It just all came natural, and I took notes inside of my head. I've always just gone with the flow of things. So I never really had to journal.
Do you recommend it for other people, though?
I do. I do, especially if people are learning about it when they're freshly coming into their abilities and, learning about it, so that way they can take notes on it and go back to it if they need to kind of figure out their, like Angel says, their psychic alphabet, to learn the signs that they're receiving, to know what each thing means that they're getting and receiving as signs or messages. Sometimes when I read, I see, for instance, if somebody was in the military, I see American flags waving, or I'll see battleships or something. So that's my sign of military. So those would be the things that people could journal when they're coming fresh into their abilities. So yes, I do agree that a lot of people should journal.
All right. Well, let's talk about something else, though, because you ladies deal with this on a daily basis. You are living this on a daily lives, and you get the good where people will come up to you, and get the bad. And, of course, being psychic also comes with being empathic as well. There must be, Angel, a big drain on what you were doing, because you're very open with what you do on social media. You are very open and candid, and people are always reaching out for any type of intuitive reading. I mean, we know that there are people out there where they are that's their entire lives. They are going from podcast to podcast, looking for readings and comparing notes, and they're doing this literally every day, trying to make things happen. For you as the intuitive, how wearing is that on your own abilities and on your body? Because as an empath as well, you're taking that energy on.
Right, and we actually just talked about that tonight on our show. I think that people don't realize what effect it has on the other side. Like, they get the reading, but they don't realize the effect that it has on us. It is draining. You do carry a piece of that energy with you. Some readings you don't forget. You feel the pain of the person that is desperately seeking help. You feel their anger. Somebody can come to you and say, "Oh, I just want to know about my love life," but you're seeing everything in them. You're seeing the pain. You're seeing the trauma that they've endured. But you have to keep that in, because that's not what they asked for. So, in premonition, when you have premonition, everything can wear on you. People don't realize that the paranormal psychic world, it can be unforgiving. It's not all fun and games. We do have to have a lot of self-care. Sometimes, I had a premonition whenever I was in Ohio with Brandie that wrecked me. I truly had a very difficult time dealing with it. Brandie was present for that whole thing. And it still bothers me now, and it's been several weeks later, a month later. We have our bad days. These emotions get to us too. And I think that people need to be aware of, when you're seeking out the psychic, what we have to go through, the energy that we have to expel, the time that we have that we put into it. It can get overwhelming sometimes. When you feel like people are just constantly reaching out, but yet we still do it because we love to help people.
Yeah.
Brandie, you can add to that if you like.
I mean, you pretty much covered all the bases. But I mean, like you said, we were talking about it tonight, and it's, we'll talk about it this way, we were talking about how somebody could also be, like, say if I'm at home and the kids come in, I could be in a good mood all day, and all of a sudden one of the kids are having a bad day, or the husband's having a bad day. They come home and your energy is affected by it also. It's not just like with readings and stuff. It's everything. And then my energy is down real low because their energy is, because I'm picking up on it because we're so empathic. So when somebody's energy around you is so low, and it drops yours down low too, it takes us twice as long to lift it back up again. And usually that consists of like me having to go outside and put my feet in the grass, or putting my hands and feet in water because I am a water sign. I connect well with water. It recharges me. It grounds me. Taking salt baths. I mean, it takes a lot of work to get your energy up there and to remain up there at the frequency that we're at. Just being very empathic is hard because we just feel everything so deeply. And, we were saying that, and it's true. It's a blessing and curse all in one. We love doing what we do for everybody. And we do that because we love to help others excel in their abilities or connect people with their loved ones. But we also have to explain at the same time, there is bad that comes with the good also, and you have to remember that.
How much do you take on? Like, let's say you have, what's on average, 5-10 people a day reaching out to you. I need some help. I need a reading. I need some advice. I need some guidance, Angel. Like, how much of that do you take on from each and every one of those people?
Oh, my goodness. I'd say on a daily basis, I probably get asked for a reading, or people will kind of tell me their story, insinuate, and hope that it leads into a reading, or, Reiki, because I obviously do Reiki too. I get a lot of it. I'd say I probably have a good 5 to 6 people a day that, are seeking out something. And I'll be honest with you, I don't do a lot of them anymore. I've set boundaries because I was taking on too much and I was feeling completely drained every day. And whenever you get drained like that, it affects your health. So, yeah.
I'm going to cut you off right there. I'm going to cut you off right there because I want you to break down what it means by being drained.
Well, think about this. You don't get good sleep at night. You wake up, you're really tired, you're sluggish through the day, correct? Have a little caffeine, you can get that bump to get you through the day. Well, as a psychic, it's kind of like not getting any sleep and going through the day in slow motion, if that makes sense. You just feel like everything about you is drained. No matter what you do, you can't replenish your energy. You just feel like you need to go home, crawl in bed, and sleep for like 3 days. And I have actually done that. I've actually, sometimes when I feel so completely drained, I will retreat for a whole weekend and disappear and just sleep off and on all day for the whole weekend just to recoup. Yes, I did that after I got back from Detroit. I was extremely drained after that weekend there. So it's basically just like, anybody who has an illness, it takes you a while to recuperate from it.
Is it like being hungover? That's what it sounds like.
Yes, it is. Very much so. It's
okay.
like you were on a 2-day drunk.
All right. Well, break that down, because I think there has been probably a lot of people out there who have felt that hangover feeling, and they're like, well, what a waste of a hangover. I didn't even drink and party last night. I have nothing to regret, so it couldn't have been that good of a night. Why am I feeling hungover today, Brandie?
Well, I mean, it's put it this way. When people are around you get people who come around you who will drain your energy, and they're not even knowing that they're doing it. That's one way. Another one is what we call psychic vampires. Those are the people who will sometimes know that they're doing it, or sometimes don't know. They will constantly ask you questions and everything else. And with me, draining, it could be anxiety. It could be numerous different things. With me, it's usually if I'm reading a lot or if I'm investigating. Say me and Angel, we were down in Ohio. just from me being around big crowds of people and my energy tuning into everybody else's, it drained me so bad, Dave, to where I wasn't even there. My energy was like gone. An angel had to do Reiki on me to give me some kind of energy so I can even function just a little bit, just from being in the crowds and my energy associating with everybody else's. That's how bad it was.
I don't know what that feeling is like, Brandie. Because we got about 45 seconds left.
It's hard to explain. It's just almost like you're just dead tired. You have no energy left. You can feel nauseous. You can get headaches. That's how I feel when I get really drained.
Kind of like feeling the flu coming on.
Yeah, it's like a sickness.
Sickness. I never would have thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I would feel that there would be a lot of pressure on that, a lot of pressure on yourselves.
It's almost like the beginning of the flu. Like Angel said, you just feel so drained and tired, and you have no energy.
Gotcha. The kitty agrees, apparently.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. We got about a minute here before we got to go to break. Now, when it drains that energy, like how do you then, Brandie, go and get your energy back up?
You know what? Music does a lot for me. It brings my energy up. I love music. I also will put my feet in water. I will seclude myself from a lot of people for a few days, just so I can focus on me and my energy. I will play with my kids, because that makes me happy. It's doing a lot of things that make me happy that will bring my energy up, and a lot of grounding with my feet on the ground, becoming one with Earth.
Never really thought about that. We'll get into that. We'll get into some stories, too. We'll talk about predictions, why they're good, why they're bad, why you don't do them, maybe why you do. We'll get into a lot of things tonight as hour number 1 of Spaced Out Radio wraps up with our guest tonight. We're talking intuitive lives. What is it like to be psychic? Angel K and Brandie Marie are our guests tonight on the show. I'm having a great time here. I really am. This is a topic I don't pay a lot of attention to, but I'm glad that I have these two talented, beautiful ladies on with us tonight. Stay tuned. Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio coming up right after this.
Hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com. We're bringing you something new to the documentary world. Beyond the Spectrum will take you on an historic tour of topics like no other. Sasquatch, UFOs, government secrecy, and more, keeping you on the edge of your seats through the eyes of legendary truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Richard Dolan, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and Jack Kasher. Head on over to Amazon Prime or Tubi TV and check us out. Please leave a comment for the filmmakers on their film's Amazon page.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Come hang out with me, Little Richie G, as I take over the airwaves on Spaced Out Saturdays. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm going to bring you the most fun on the radio you can have with your clothes on. We're going to get to the heart of the subjects from UFOs to what's going on in the paranormal and everything in between. So come join me at spacedoutradio.com starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, for the fastest 3 hours of your week.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacey, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is Watching.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back for hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to say hello to everyone listening in on KDNF, AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, and WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia. On the digital side, hi to everyone listening in on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Great to have you with us. Don't forget, you can check out all of our archives for free. You just go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Diopolate. Diopolate is your password. Nobody really knows what it means, but the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily, and so much more. Tonight we are talking with Angel K and Brandie Marie as we are literally talking about intuitive lives. And it's very interesting because for a lot of people, we wonder what it's like to be intuitive. What is it like to be someone who has a lot of different feelings, attitudes, premonitions? That's what these ladies are on for. Angel and Brandie, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you. Anyways.
Good to hear you.
Well, I want to ask. I want to ask about rules because you have to be, I'm assuming, Angel, very, very disciplined with what comes aboard. I mean, the last thing you want is to be bombarded with spirit and ghosts and whatever else is out there when it comes to your own private life, whether you're in the bathroom, whether you're having a shower, whether, you know, you're out on a date with friends or whatever it may be. Like, what is that like in order to try and have a private life? Like, do you have to set boundaries and guidelines and rules for your own self with intuition?
Oh, yes, definitely. I have a rule that it's going to sound strange, but they're not allowed to come in the car. I had that happen once, and it was very distracting, and I had to pull over, and I was very irritated by that. So I have boundaries about that. I have boundaries, when I'm at work. Sometimes those boundaries are crossed if it's a spirit who is insistent on coming through, especially if it's for a particular person. Now, I don't read without permission, but if I keep getting the constant... if I keep getting the constant nudge and it won't leave me alone, then I will mention something to that person that, may open the door so that I'm allowed to give them a message. Because for me, morally, I think it's unethical to read people without permission. So,
really?
There's always that fine line. Oh, yeah. I think you have to have permission to read people. I don't think you should... dawdle in people's energy without them knowing.
What do you think of that, Brandie?
To follow off of Angel, I'm going to agree with her with that because it's almost the same thing as like if I was just to walk in your home being a stranger. It's invading somebody's privacy, and you do not do that. As far as my boundaries go, mine is when I'm going to sleep, because that's when they like to come to me the most, and then I never get sleep. So I have made that boundary to where they are not allowed to come to me when I'm sleeping or trying to go to bed, because that's my time, that's my downtime. But if it is an important message that needs to come across, I will take a mental note of it and tell them, they're more than welcome to come back in the morning or during the day, the next day, and I will carry on with that message and relay it to whoever it needs to be relayed to. Also, if I am anywhere in public or even in my own home, I will feel them come up behind me and I stick my hand out. If anybody pays attention to me during investigations or anything, you will notice me sticking my hand behind myself, and I stick it out, and that's my sign to let them know, look, you're invading my space. Now, right now is not the time. So I do set those certain boundaries up. Those are the only really 2 times that I really ever do that, is when I'm sleeping or they're just coming up behind me and I don't like it and it's not that time, it's not the right time, so I stick my hand out. And they pretty much know from that.
Right. So with those rules and guidelines that you set, how do you actually get the other side to follow them, Brandie?
Pardon me?
How do you get the spirits on the other side to actually follow your rules that you lay out?
It's like me communicating with you. It's no different, honestly. It would be just like me telling you, no, you know what, you're not welcome in my home right now. Can you please come back tomorrow? It's the same thing for me. Or I would have to put that block up, like with me. I have to drown the noise out sometimes. Like when I sleep and I go to bed, I have to have the TV on and I have to have a fan on, because it draws out the communication that's in the background. So if I kind of just like drowned it out, it's kind of like me blocking them. So that way I'm shutting them out.
Do you do the same thing, Angel?
I sleep with the radio on.
I hope you're listening to us.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean when you're sleeping and with the radio on.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times what I do is I turn it on and I lay it next to the bed and I fall asleep listening to the show. Not that your show puts me to sleep, but it's just so late here for me whenever you're on. I also have my headphones in a lot when I'm at work to drown out any kind of noise or disturbance. Let's see. For the most, like if I'm on an investigation, obviously I have to set my boundaries. Sometimes they're crossed, depending on, sometimes you can get a nasty spirit that has no, they don't care about your boundaries. But for the most part, I don't have a lot of issues when I set my boundaries. They, I respect them, they respect me, kind of thing.
So I want to get into some stories here because, part of what we do here is tell stories. Brandie, let's start with you on this one because you deal with a lot every single day. Every day you could be telling stories, writing books about the experiences that you have. Give us a story, whether it's recently or in the past, that has really resonated with you, stuck with you, that just, we all have that moment, that epiphany moment where it's like, I can't believe that just happened. Could you tell us a story about using your intuition where that happened?
Like, as far as like any time, like investigating or anything?
Yeah.
I would have to say at Eloise, which is located in Westland, Michigan, a few months back, we did an investigation. It was actually a tour. And Todd and Jeff had the tour upstairs, and me and my cousins were on the 3rd floor. And it was only us 3. We had went down the hall by the nurse's station, and it was only the 3 of us. And we had went to this room, and we felt like this gust of wind. but there was no windows or anything open. And we just sat there for a minute talking about it. We're like, well, where in the heck could that come from? So we're standing in the hallway, and my cousin looks down the hallway, and she's like, Brandie, she's like, I just seen a black shadow figure at the end of the hallway. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, there's nobody on this floor right now. I said, they're all upstairs. So I was on the walkie-talkie, and I made sure everybody was on, their floors. And so we had walked down towards the nurse's station where she had seen the black shadow figure. And I looked, and I was like, hello, and there was nobody. It was quiet as can be. So we walked down the hallway more where, right past the lobby. We got about 6 feet from the lobby. And in the lobby, they had the old pool tables. They had file cabinets and everything from when the building was an active building. And there was this old vinyl record that was placed on top of this file cabinet that was probably about a good little over 5 feet tall. And so as we're walking past the doorway, which is probably about 20 feet from the file cabinet, the record had flown off into midair. Sat there, I swear, it seemed like for a minute, but it was only a few seconds. And it just slammed as hard as it could on the floor, and it shattered in pieces. At that point, I mean, it literally sounded like somebody had taken a chair or something very hard and heavy and slammed it down on the ground. It was loud enough to the point to where Todd and Jeff came from the 4th floor and come running downstairs because they didn't know what it was. So when that happened, it literally freaked me out because as long as I've been investigating and doing my psychic mediumship, I've never had something like that happen. That's more of a poltergeist activity. So for me, I mean, we investigate, we do that. This is what we look for so we can learn off of it and understand it more. But to actually have it happen in front of your eyes, it was so terrifying but amazing at the same time.
I don't know how I would react to that. And it's funny because we were talking just, I believe, a week or two ago about poltergeist type activity. And, there's a lot of people who believe that poltergeists are manifestations from oneself, and it's the energy that they are releasing into the environment. Others believe that it is some sort of angry type spirit or demonic type spirit that is just wanting to get a lot of attention in a negative fashion. Where do you stand on that?
You just blanked out. I couldn't hear you.
Well, I said, where do you stand on what a poltergeist is?
A poltergeist is more of something that has enough energy to be able to move items, pick things up. Pick something up or something to physically scratch you or harm you. You know what I mean? It has that much. It's a strong energy.
Right. We had a little Skype snafu there, so the audience may have missed what you said there, if you don't mind repeating it.
A poltergeist activity is more of energy that is so intense that it has that energy. It's strong that it has energy enough to pick something up and move it or affect you in a way to where it could scratch you.
Right. Okay. All right. And Angel, have you ever dealt with a poltergeist?
I have not actually dealt with a poltergeist, but I do have an opinion on that because you said some people believe that it is a person is manifesting that into creation. I believe that whenever these manifestations come from an individual person, I think they're thought forms. Whereas a poltergeist is true, actual paranormal activity that is not manifested from someone's feelings. I think it's more of a darker entity itself.
Right. And I'm not too sure. I've never seen anything like that. And I have to admit, out of every experience that I've had personally, that is one that I actually want to see happen. I would love to be at our museum during the tour one night and all of a sudden have books floating around, or like you saw in Ghostbusters, or have doors slam behind you. I think it would be absolutely fantastic to be having that experience. You know, do I want it in my own home? No, of course not. That would be silly. You know, but I think it would be fantastic to see that at least once. But, I mean, in listening to Brandie's story, Angel, that has to be very intimidating when it does.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely say if I had been in there with her, it would have probably, I probably would have bolted, I'm not going to lie. You know, I may be a psychic medium, but there's still stuff that scares me.
Oh, yeah.
What scares you?
I'd have to say that the one place in particular that really sticks in my craw that I don't remote there anymore because of it. It's I'm going to call it a little on the darker side of things, but it presents itself as a demonic looking clown. And I hate clowns, so I definitely. This is a location in Garnett, Kansas, called the Garnett House, and I'm friends with the guys who own it, and they had me remote the location, and I split it up into a couple of different sessions, and I started having dreams, and this creepy clown was coming into my dreams, and I mentioned it to the owner, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're not the first psychic who said that." So whatever it is there, it kind of gets in your head, and it comes to, visits you while you're sleeping. And I didn't care for that much.
That is pretty incredible. You know, when I was a kid, when A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors came out, you guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was 2 songs about that. The DJ Jazzy Jeff and the French Prince had a song called Nightmare on My Street. And then there was Dawkins that had Dream Warriors, which was the theme song to the movie. But I would wake up. I was about 16, 17 years old. I always slept with my radio on because, as a kid, you always had to go to bed and there was silence, and I didn't like silence growing up. So the minute I got my own radio going on, I remember listening to the radio to fall asleep at night. And anyways, I would wake up between 2 and 3 every morning for about a month. I shouldn't say every night or every morning, but it happened very frequently where I would wake up and that song would be playing, almost like it was haunting me. And I was so freaked out for like the next 4 months. I didn't sleep with my radio on. I don't know if I was being haunted back then because I never had anything experienced. I lived a happily boring life up at that point. But it was terrifying to me, and it just something that I rarely ever had acknowledged because it just didn't seem right. So when you have something, and there's people like that who are going through that kind of, I'm going to call it simplistic type event. Is that where it starts? Is that all intuitive, or is that just strange coincidence because the radio is programmed, it's a hit song, and that song is programmed to play at that specific time of night every night? Brandie, what do you think?
I don't know. I've never had that happen to me. To me, it would seem like it would be more of a... I don't know. We've seen certain things like that. That's the same thing as the number sequence. Is that coincidence or is it really a sign? We, as psychic mediums and people with abilities, we see those as signs in some sort of way. And the thing is okay, we're seeing, like, say, I'm going to use numbers for instance, or for an example. I see 111 all the time. Okay, so I'm taking it that's a sign for me because I'm seeing it so much. What is a sign? I don't know. That's something that we have to pay attention to. That's paying attention to our thoughts at that time to manifest something. What is the sign that's coming around? So it just depends on what's coming at you. So I guess it just depends on your intuition and what you're feeling is if it's a sign or not. Because not everything is a sign. You know what I mean?
Right. What do you think, Angel?
Well, like you said, it's hard to know if, it wasn't pre-programmed to play at that time. But on the other side of that, you have to wonder, why were you waking up every time that song was on the radio? Usually, they call it the haunting hour is usually, the 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning time frame. So if I was to give someone advice, I would tell them to listen to that song, think about what they were going through at the time, during that time frame in their life. Listen to the song, see if there's some kind of meaning or message in that song that fits with what they're going through. You usually find a pattern.
We only got about 90 seconds left before we go to break. And Angel, when we come back from break, I want to hear two of your stories. But let's turn up the woo a little bit here. I mean, we deal a lot with ghosts. We deal a lot with intuition. But there's also a lot of high strangeness that comes along. Ethereal type beings, aliens, cryptids. Our audience wants to know about this. They want to know about these type of experiences, because just because you see ghosts doesn't mean the other stuff doesn't exist. Am I right, Angel?
Oh, most definitely.
You want to give us a little tease?
Well, alien. We'll do alien. A friend of mine called me, was driving down the road. She was like, I'm creeped out. I feel like something's following me or running next to my car. Had me remote, and it was the most bizarre alien energy I've ever felt in my entire life. Not in a negative way, but I kept getting Watcher. When I was doing the reading, I kept getting Watcher, and I was not familiar with aliens at the time. So to find out that a Watcher is, correct me if I'm wrong, that they're ones that they keep an eye on human life to see what we're doing and kind of keep us in line. Is that not correct?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place.
It followed her all the way to her hometown, back home, and she ended up having to pull over. And I made the comment, I was like, wow, what's, that bird's going crazy in the tree. And she's like, no bird.
Okay, you hold on right there, ladies. We're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Angel K, Brandie Marie, what's it like to live intuitive lives? More strange stories coming up with these two right after this.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today. Coming up this September 21st and 22nd, all UFO eyes will be focused on Toronto for the 4th Annual Alien Cosmic Expo. Come listen to some of the biggest names and experiencers in ufology. Travis Walton, Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Randy Kramer, and Spaced Out Radio's own Dave Scott. Tickets are on sale now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot THAL, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We're bringing you something new to the documentary world. Beyond the Spectrum will take you on an historic tour of topics like no other. Sasquatch, UFOs, government secrecy, and more, keeping you on the edge of your seats through the eyes of legendary truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Richard Dolan, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and Jack Kasher. Head on over to Amazon Prime or Tubi TV and check us out. Please leave a comment for the filmmakers on their film's Amazon page.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, hanging out with all of you, having a great time tonight. Thank you so much for tuning us in. Reminder to all of you, if you've missed most of this show or others, you can always go to our YouTube channel. It's where we store our archives for free. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Intuitive Lives tonight is what we are talking about with psychic mediums Angel Kay and Brandie Marie. Ladies, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Now, right before the break, we started talking about getting into the weird and strange, because it's not just about talking to dead people. Most people think of psychic people who are running around talking to ghosts all over the place. You know, you get that weird music, you know, like Teresa Caputo when, you know, she's in the supermarket and all of a sudden she'll get that stare. That, oh, I better go talk to that complete stranger and start reading them right there. You know, that really doesn't happen. But the side of the intuitive abilities that a lot of people don't talk about, Angel, is the fact that it comes with a lot of different connections, from extraterrestrial to cryptid worlds like fairies and Bigfoot and Dogman and all sorts of creepy, crawly creatures.
Oh, yes.
How do you deal with that? What was that? What was your first ET or strange experience like? Tell us about it.
Oh, my first experience was hiking. Went hiking, camped out, and kept hearing the knocking on the trees. You know, the stomping, throwing of the rocks and things like that, and my intuition kicked in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, me and my friend were in the tent just basically, you know, scared beyond belief. Just zip the tent up, be quiet, and hope that it goes away. When we got up the next morning, we found rocks stacked. We found, you know, there were some marks on the tree. We packed up really quick and left, and my intuition, you know, my psychic side knew that it was the big furry, Mr. Squatch, but I didn't physically see it. Now, I have had experience. You and I have talked actually about this, where there was a Sasquatch behind my house. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I was checking you out. That was kind of a passing. It didn't really hang out or come back much, but I did have another experience where I did a remote of a location that had Sasquatch and alien energy that was extremely intense. It had the markings, the rock stacked. It had the trees bent. It had the whole gamut of Sasquatch evidence right there. That location really sealed it for me with my belief that the Sasquatch is an interdimensional being. I don't feel like it is here and it stays here. I feel like they do come and go, kind of like an alien could. Some people may not feel comfortable with that belief, but that's my belief from my reading and what energy I felt. How about you, Angel? Have you dealt with the cryptids, the aliens, the ethereal type beings as well?
You mean Brandie?
Or Brandie, sorry.
I believe in it all. I have never personally myself encountered any of that. The only thing that I have actually come across, and it is very new to me, is the elementals, as far as like the fairies and the leprechauns and the gnomes and these little gray beings. And it's funny because I've only seen the leprechauns once at my brother's house about 6 years ago, and it was the only time I've seen it, and I didn't understand it at first. I'm like, did I just see that? I mean, what the heck is going on? Because it was so new, and I couldn't believe what I just seen. So I kind of like blew it off. But then as soon as I started talking to Angel and I have been friends for a year now, and as soon as I started talking to her and got close with her, I'm not going to go too much into detail because it's her home, but I have seen probably almost every elemental in her house. And it's crazy because I could be talking on the phone to her and I'm like, Angel. And I describe something. I'm like, what is this like gray thing that's like, it looks like a fairy, but it doesn't have wings. And it's like maybe about a foot tall. And, you know, it's laying real low and it's like by your bedroom door against the wall. So, I mean, it's little things like that I see, but it's only in her house. I don't really see elementals or anything like that anywhere else. So to me, it's very new to me, and I'm still learning about it.
I'm an elemental magnet.
Yes, she is. Big time.
So for people who don't know what an elemental is, break that down, Angel.
My opinion of the elemental is, the Fey world. The Fey world has so many different beings that fall into that category. A lot of your inhuman things can be considered elementals. While I haven't had a reptile being around my home, I hope to not ever have one. I have seen them and encountered them, so I'm trying to think what else I would fall into the elemental. It's skipping my mind right now.
Do you believe then that these ethereal types, like the elementals, like the ETs, like where are they in comparison, in your opinion, compared to ghosts? Because I've had interaction with both, and I can say this when people ask me my opinion of it, and this is just what I feel, and I know everybody's different. But for me, when I'm dealing with the spiritual ghost side, I feel heavy. At times I feel lethargic. I feel kind of down. My energy just isn't pumped up. But when I'm around energy that is more extraterrestrial or has that feeling, even cryptid, I feel like my mind is buzzing. Like I got to keep my head moving on my shoulders and looking around because something might be there just out of the corner of my eye, and I want to be able to catch it. Like it's almost like being on speed kind of thing. Not that I know what that's like, but it's very much like driving at 100 miles an hour comparatively to ghosts, where you're like at a crawl. Would I be describing that right, Brandie? Did we lose Brandie?
Hello? Yeah.
There you are.
For some reason, my phone's cutting out.
Did you hear what we said?
No.
Oh, Angel, let's go to you then, because I know you heard it.
I did, and I can tell you that for me, when I encounter some kind of extraterrestrial, the energy is so intense, I get like a skin crawling feeling. Literally, this, it'll feel like the skin on my head is crawling all the way down to my toes. And it kind of has a colder energy to it. I get really edgy, and sometimes my words, I'll talk over my own words. And it's so intense that, to me, in my opinion, anyone would know the difference between that and a spirit. The only spirit energy, ghost energy that I've encountered that has been remotely close to an extraterrestrial would be something more on the demonic line. And in my opinion, the demonic is also more of an extraterrestrial. So, whereas, ETs have their own energy, but ghosts tend to have to use your energy or other energy in the room to manifest. So that's why it feels draining and heavy and things like that.
So, Brandie, what I was asking while you got cut out there on your phone for a couple seconds, I was asking about the energy, like in regards to ghosts. I feel personally that they're draining. It's very heavy. It makes me feel lethargic. Yet when there's other more divine type energies around, whether it's extraterrestrials, it feels like I'm speeding at about 100 miles an hour and everything like that. Do you have that same feeling regarding it as well?
I can tell a difference between them. Well, it depends. Like, if I get energy that hasn't crossed over, their energy feels like it was as if they were still here. If they cross over, then it's more angelic feeling. That's how I can tell that they've crossed over. Energy that is elemental and stuff, to me, it is more of a higher energy, fast-paced energy to me. It's very different. Like, say, with the elementals that I feel in Angel's Home, I could tell the difference because, to me, they're way more earthy feeling to me. That's how I can tell the difference. And I also see the signs that come, like images that come with them. Like, if I start seeing the leprechauns or the fairies and stuff, I will get images of like greenery, like the bushes or like a forest or woods or something, and that comes along with them. So that's how I can tell. Interesting.
Yeah. So, Angel, I want to get back to you here for a moment because, you know, you talked about extraterrestrials, that you have had some sort of interaction with them at this time. Tell us a story about where you first encountered an ET.
That would be back to the story that I was telling before we went to break. My friend called me while she was driving home and encountered the Watcher is what I kept getting. I wasn't familiar with alien things back then, so it was all new to me, but I remember it followed her all the way up here to our town, and she pulled over and stopped, and I kept asking about the birds in the trees, and she's like, there's not any birds, and then the birds went wild. But that energy came all the way up here with her. I still don't know what its purpose was for watching her, but, you know, me even remoting, not being physically at the location and being present, my skin was crawling, and it made me nervous because I hadn't encountered something like that yet. It's very intense, and it's hard to tell what the motives are with the alien energy because it has a deceiving energy about it too.
Mm-hmm. When you say deceiving, what do you mean by that?
Well, when you're dealing with a spirit, from me personally, I feel like, you know, I can see through a lot of things to tell if it's, you know, presenting itself as something it's not, things like that. But that's hard to do with alien. It's like it almost has this block up that you can't read it as well as it can read you. I felt like it was like inside my head.
Did you feel lost? Did you feel in danger?
No, not with that one. No, I didn't feel lost or in danger. I just felt like it was roaming around in my head, like it was picking information out of my brain versus me doing that to it, if that makes sense. It took me a couple of days to kind of clear my head from that feeling that something was in my head, you know, roaming around and feeling all my deepest thoughts.
Did you feel that you were being invaded?
Oh yeah, definitely. What's that like? I felt like the remote turned into it reading me versus me reading it. It's violating, actually. Again, like we said, we don't read without permission. So whenever you whenever you get it turned around on you, and you don't give it permission to do that, but you feel it, you can feel it doing it, and it's really hard when it's alien energy. It's really hard to block that out because they're very strong. But you feel violated, and it almost makes you feel a little crazy.
Have you been taken?
Oh, me personally, no.
How do you know?
I'm pretty positive I haven't.
Oh, I think you may have.
Well, I mean, it could be something I've blocked out, but I don't feel like I have. But you never know.
How about you, Brandie? In your ET encounters, have they come to take you?
You know what? Let me tell you something. The other day, and it was so weird because me and Angel do talk about, the aliens and stuff like that. I've never encountered anything like that to be able to speak about it. Do I believe in them? Yes, I do 100%. I believe in everything until you can prove me otherwise. But I woke up in the morning and my stomach was like itching just for a second. It wasn't bad or anything. And I looked, and I still have it right now. I can take a picture. I had these 3 dots in a small triangle shape. I Googled it to see, what kind of bug bite it could be. I wonder what kind of bite it could be. And some alien article came up. And it said that when an alien comes to you, these 3 dots will appear on your skin. And I'm like, no, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, I blew it off, but I'm just like, that stuck with me, and it was weird.
Have you lost time?
Pardon me?
Have you lost time?
I lose time every day. No, to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel anything different, I don't think. I don't know.
I did feel like when I did my remote to the location that had the Sasquatch alien energy, I felt like I lost time.
I mean, doing what we do every day and, being so busy, constantly reading all the time and busy with our lives, I mean, I feel like that sometimes,
Okay.
But it was just really odd to me. I wake up, I didn't feel a bite or anything, but it's there.
We got about 3.5 minutes before we go to break at the top of the hour. Angel K and Brandie Marie, Intuitive Lives is what we're talking tonight on Spaced Out Radio. When you are dealing with the ultra-terrestrials, the supernet, the interdimensionals and beings like that, what do you actually see, Angel, when you are in communication with those higher entities?
Oh, one experience I had was, and it's funny, I just talked about this. Terrestrial, I've never seen them as the gray people or the alien face with the eyes like that. When I see extraterrestrials, I always see them in energy form. They will have a body shape similar to a human, but they will either be solid white energy or they will be blue energy. And that's the only way I've ever seen extraterrestrial energy. Now, Sasquatch, I see them as they are. I do tend to see them a little bit shorter than what they're, the big 7 foot that people say. Now, I have seen some skinwalkers that were very unnerving, but then I've seen some that were friendly, and I know that probably will not sit well with some people, but I don't think all skinwalkers are bad.
What do you think, Brandie? What's the strangest encounter you have had with a cryptid?
And I don't even know how to explain what these were. The only thing that I have come close to coming to experience anything was down, and I don't know if you've ever heard of the place. It's called OSPH. It's a hospital in Tennessee. It's Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Okay.
We know as psychic mediums and stuff half the time that when you put two mirrors facing together, it creates a portal. Me and two others went into this room in the hospital, and they intentionally had blocked off a mirror with this like chalkboard. It's like a swinging chalkboard, and they had padlocked it. So that way both mirrors on each end of the room could not be facing each other. Well, the guy that was with us at the time had got the key to unlock it to see what would happen. And at that time, I didn't know what two mirrors meant. I just went with the flow. I knew I was guarding myself, but I didn't know at what extent. I was just used to guarding myself to normal things. Well, my girlfriend Teresa, who is also she has abilities. She was standing in front of me, basically guarding me. As soon as they opened up that chalkboard, these things that look like, the only way I can describe them is alien type, but I only seen them from the waist up. And they were all gray with dark veins running through their body. They had a muscular, body frame, very skinny, black solid eyes, and a black solid mouth. Well, when they were coming at me, they were screaming, almost like a banshee. So loud, it was so piercing that it physically hurt my ears, and I started screaming and crying. There was 11 of them. I can see all of them coming at me, and they surrounded me. They had taken me out to the hallway, and she stood in front of me, and she's like, "Brandie, you have to look at me. Ignore them." So I went to go look up, and they were all behind her, staring at me, surrounding me. So I put my head back down, and as I'm screaming again, she's like, "Brandie," she's like, "just focus on my eyes. Do not look at them." So I looked back up, and I looked at her, and as soon as I did, they went away. Well, come to find out, after they took me outside to ground me and cleanse me off, two other people in other opposite ends of the building in different areas also encountered the same thing I did. And they seen the same exact thing. And they also have it on recording that there was 11 of them.
On that note, I'm going to get you ladies to hold on here because we got another 30 minutes to go with Brandie Marie and Angel K on Spaced Out Radio. Hour 3 also includes the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Dave. It's jam-packed heading into Hour 3. Stay tuned. More Spaced Out Radio coming up.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com. Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
come hang out with me, Little Richie G, as I take over the airwaves on Spaced Out Saturdays. This is Rich Giordano, and I'm going to bring you the most fun on the radio you can have with your clothes on. We're going to get to the heart of the subjects from UFOs to what's going on in the paranormal and everything in between. So come join me at spacedoutradio.com starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, for the fastest 3 hours of your week.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot THAL, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother Is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
We're now into the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have all of you with us. I am Dave Scott, hanging out from the captain's chair with all of you. Appreciate you tuning on in, especially if you're on our digital side on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Good to have you with us. We're on 5 terrestrial affiliates, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, and also down in Ridgecrest, California, KZFX 93.7 FM. You can find all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button, and let's go to the Desert Clam, shall we? The Desert Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Tonight's password, Diopolate. Diopolate is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. You can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily, and so much more. And more coming too. For the final time tonight, we're talking intuitive lives. Psychic mediums Angel K and Brandie Marie are with us tonight. Ladies, it's been a pleasure to have both of you here tonight. Thank you so much for staying up late on the East Coast and in the Central Time Zone.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
I want to get into intuition because there's a lot of people these days who are trying to open up. They're starting to take notice as people move away from the previous spirituality and maybe religion, and I'm not giving a shot at religion when I say that, okay, but there's a lot of people trying to find themselves, get in touch with whom they are, and they're also getting in touch, or trying to at least, to get in touch with their own intuitive being, their own intuitive self. Now, for some, they're trying to learn it on their own. Others are using the help of other people who are much more experienced. However, you know, there is no schooling for this. There is no rule book. There is really no real passageway on how to do this. Do you recommend, Brandie, that people try to open themselves up to see what's truly out there?
I do 100%. Angel and I, that's the reason why Angel and I have Mystic Chats. We have Mystic Chats to teach people to be their true, authentic selves with their abilities, to let them know it's okay to be who they truly are, and to help them open up and help guide them. Because we know that it's hard to be in a public eye or have people know about what we do, and it makes it so much harder. So we let them know and reassure them that it's okay to be who they are. As far as opening themselves up, I always believe that guidance, in a way, is better. But you do have to do the work on your own. It's okay to, it's kind of like how I always say, I will always guide you, but I will not do the work for you. Like my mentor, I had a mentor when I first started in my 20s, opening up more, and I would always ask her questions. And the best thing that she could ever do for me was to say, I'll guide you in the right direction, but you got to find the answers for yourself. You got to find what resonates with you. So I did that, and it made me stronger. It made me be my true authentic self and not copying or doing what she does or what she believes in.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Angel?
Well, I don't think that somebody has to give up their belief in God or source or whatever religion they follow. I think to each their own, whereas that goes. But I do feel that, you know, I would like to see more people open to enlightenment, getting to know themselves on a deeper level, experiencing their abilities. You become more free in an aspect, more self-love. Meditation is really good to start that. One of the things that I do mentoring, and one of the things that some of my students will tell you is that I'm like Brandie. I can give you direction, but I can't, I'm not going to take you there. I'm not going to do it for you. And I'm really good about, when my students ask me questions, I'm really good about turning that around and asking them questions to make them think in the right direction to come to the conclusion that where they'll find their answers. I'm sorry, I got tongue-tied. But I do think that the world would be a better place if more people can enlighten and live from a place of love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But with that regard, do you not feel that it brings a false sense of ability to a lot of people? And I'm not out there trying to critique the psychics, okay, that are out there. But the example I like to use on this, and I've used this one a couple times on the show, I remember having a lady in our chat room, and she never professed to be psychic or anything along those lines at all. And in fact, I recall her actually asking a lot of intuitive questions, because back then we did a lot more shows on intuition than we do now. And she would ask a lot of questions. Well, it wasn't 4 to 6 months later where all of a sudden she's going on Facebook Live, giving live psychic readings to people. And hey, everybody opens up at a different level. But to me, that sounds almost fraudulent. And there's a lot of fraudsters and shysters out there in this community because there's a lot of desperate people out there. They just want answers. Maybe they lost a loved one tragically. Maybe they're lonely because they have never found true love in their life. Maybe they're struggling financially and they're just wondering when that break is going to come to ease some of that tension. And people are very easy to take advantage of when it comes to their own personal desperation. This is what I worry about when I think of so many people making the turn towards investigating their own spirituality and their own intuition. I don't think it's healthy. I think people who are naturally gifted in some way should do as much as possible rather than hopping on Facebook or social media and saying, oh, look, I'm psychic. Let me read you. And by the way, once I get good at this, my rate is going to be $58 an hour or $100 an hour or whatever it may be. I think it's dangerous because the people who mostly use psychics, in my opinion, and I know I'm talking to two very good ones tonight, but the people who use them are often there out of their own personal desperation about something. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Angel and I talk about that a lot, as far as both of us goes. I had done a lot of work when it comes to my psychic mediumship. It took me, Dave, years, at least 3 years, to label myself a psychic medium. It took me, I've been reading publicly and openly for 15 years now. And I just started charging people last year. And I still do it at a very, very cheap rate because to me, in my eyes, that I have two different opinions. One is, if somebody is to come to me for a reading, yes, I'll charge, or just, anything of an exchange of energy. Like Angel and I, we read for each other, and it's an exchange of energy. As far as if I'm around somebody and somebody comes through, I don't charge for that. I don't charge for anything like that, because I see it as, sorry, we're given this ability for a reason. And if you misuse it, it can get taken away from you as fast as it was given to you. And we see a lot of people jumping on Facebook trying to make money off of everything. It's like we told each other, like, out of nowhere, there's nothing but psychic mediums around. And it's like they're all about just making money, and that's not what psychic mediumship is really about. So it does kind of, it makes it hard for the ones who are legit, and we have to prove ourselves that much more because of that reason.
What's your thoughts, Angel?
I think everybody has the innate capability to have a gift, or ability, as Brandie likes to call it. I don't think that any one person cannot have one. But on the same, kind of like referencing a sport, you've got people who are naturally talented, you got people that have to work really hard at it, and you got people that just kind of skip the surface, that don't do the work and don't ever go anywhere with it. Does it make sense? I think that Brandie and I agree on the fact that, you see a lot of people pop up and charge for readings. And I don't mind to see people charging for readings, because, it's an exchange of energy. But I think that, you have to prove yourself. If you can prove yourself authentic, because Lord knows that I've been made to prove myself so many times over the years, and I've only been open out and doing readings for about 3 years. But I hesitate to say this. I think that anyone who goes to seek a reading from someone needs to get references. They, make sure that the person that you are getting the reading from is coming from a place of love and truly wants to help you, and they're not out for the mighty dollar. And obviously authentic is a big thing. I don't do a lot of personal readings anymore. I tend to do more location work. I prefer to do the personal reading where it just kind of happens offhand, off chance. I'm talking to someone and the whole reading just starts and comes through. Those are the kind that I like to do. But Brandie does she schedules and does hers and does very well at it. So, everybody's different, but I think that you just need to be careful if you're going to seek out a psychic medium for a reading. Get references, recommendations, and, be very thorough about investigating them and how they are, and do your work. Don't get taken by someone who's out for the buck.
Yes, and you always want to look for the very, very small details in readings. Whenever you're getting a reading from somebody and you want to know if they're really legit, look for the small details that you're really looking for. We know that message, like energy from the other side, spirits give us what we're meant to know, but you want to look for the fine details of what that connection is, because anybody can tell you common things, the basics. So you want to look for something that's a little bit more deeper.
And also, don't walk into a reading and give them a bunch of information. If they bring up something that they're feeling, don't say, "Oh my gosh, yes, blah, 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 blah," and give them all the information before they can give it to you. Sit back, let them do the reading, if you want to confirm something, just say yes, or that fits, or something like that. But let them do the reading for you. Don't give them too much information.
Because I always tell everybody, before I do any reading, I always explain to them, please do not. If you're going to give me confirmation, give me very, very little, because it contaminates my reading. It messes up the connection. So that's what you got to do.
Gotcha on that. So for people who are out there who are maybe desperate, how often should they be going for a reading? How often should they be putting themselves out there? Because I've heard people say that you should get a reading more than once every 3 months, maybe once every 6 months. But yet there's people out there who are so desperate and just looking for anything that either A, they want to hear, that they will jump around psychic to psychic, because let's face it, in the podcasting world, there are plenty of free psychic reading shows, so you never have to pay for it. Or B, they're just so desperate to have something good happen in their life that they will go psychic to see where they're going to get the best, most positive message.
Yeah.
So what's your advice, Angel, for anybody who is out there looking for a reading?
I actually have someone who contacts me quite regular for readings, and I know this is probably not going to be popular with other psychic mediums who do readings for money, but you, as a medium, you have to step back and you have to feel that energy. If they're coming at you from a place of desperation, you need to actually focus that energy on what they need. For example, my advice to this person, and it was strictly advice, it wasn't counseling, it wasn't coaching, it was strictly advice. You are the only person that can change your life. You are the only person that can get off the couch and make your life what you want it to be. You can't sit back and wait for life to happen to you. You have to make it happen. So I think as a medium, you have to be very aware of the psyche of the people that come to you, because things that they say, things that you say to them, they can hang on that and they can live in it. So if you choose your words wrong and you say something to a person that's desperate, you can leave them hanging in a spot for too long. So you have to be very, very aware of your words and how you give your reading. But also aware of the psyche of the person that's coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts, Brandie?
I totally agree. When I do my readings, I do mine and I kind of keep it more at a positive nature. I always look for the positive in everything and uplift them and guide them more in a positive way to where it brings their energy level up to where they could be the best that they can be. I don't ever, I never rarely ever talk about anything negative. And when I do, it's only because I'm feeling their energy and I'm feeling that they're holding on to too much negativity from maybe their past or anything. And I will just explain to them that they're holding on to a lot of past hurt, negativity that they're going through in their life, and they need to release it to bring in more of the positive, to live that more of a positive lifestyle. I honestly only recommend a reading once a year. That's my opinion. Only for the simple fact is because I have had many people try to come back to me with like every month, and that's not healthy. I mean, put it this way, I'm a psychic medium, and I'm going to put it out there and be honest. I don't get readings. I don't like them. Only for the simple fact is because I think you should live life the way it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be unknown. And I see a lot of people basing and living their lives off of readings, and that's not healthy because you're not living your life the way it's meant to be. You're living your life off of somebody else's words. And that's just me being honest. And I am a psychic medium.
I think that's the first time I've heard a psychic actually say that. That's actually quite profound.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I mean, but that's
very right.
Unbelievable.
You know.
And that kind of goes back to that where you have to be careful what you say because people will hang on every word you say.
Exactly.
And only you can get out there and live your life.
Yeah.
You know,
which makes sense.
People wait for life to happen to them, and they reach out for readings because they're wanting something good, or this is going to happen to me. Well, this isn't going to happen to you unless you get out and you live.
Do it yourself. Mm-hmm.
So
that is very true. Ladies, we only got a couple minutes left with you, about 3 minutes left tonight. And this show has flown on by, and I'm so thankful that both of you came on here to kind of give your experiences and stories, as well as your time to kind of help people learn a little bit in regards to this. Angel, what's your one piece of advice that you have for people quickly here, in case they are looking to expand on their own intuition?
Go into it with an open mind. Make sure that it's really what you want before you open up and do it. Because once you open up, it's hard to close it back off. Be prepared for the unknown to make itself known in many, many, many ways.
How about for you, Brandie?
Honestly, when it comes to intuition, Angel said it perfectly. Just always follow your intuition, never second guess it. And that right there will never steer you wrong.
Right. Perfect. Do me a favor. Tell everybody about your little online podcast that you do. Brandie?
Mystic Chats. We do Mystic Chats. We talk about everything paranormal, metaphysical, spiritual, chit-chat. We teach people anything that has to do with anything in the field. We do a little bit of tarot cards and readings once in a while, and we are on every Thursday on our Mystic Chats page at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, p.m. and 8 p.m. Central Time.
How much fun do you have doing that, Angel?
Actually, we really enjoy doing it because we laugh a lot. We're very honest and real with people that join us for our show. We don't candy coat anything. I'm very open about what I experience and, any kind of pain that we go through or problems that arise. We just don't hide anything. And I think that's why we're gaining the followers that we have from just being real.
Well, I think it's great. Ladies, I want to say thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. What a pleasure to have you. Coming up next in the next half hour, we have the Thought of the Dave and the SOR Newswire. So please stay tuned. More Spaced Out Radio coming up.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page. Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar-Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Canada's largest UFO conference is ready to roll in Toronto this September 21st and 22nd at the Alien Cosmic Expo. This year is about the experience. Listen to the stories of Dave Scott, Travis Walton, Paula Harris, Grant Cameron, Ryan Stacey, Richard Dolan, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, and more. Get your tickets now at aliencosmicexpo.com. Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have you with us. Reminder to all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, we have a free YouTube channel where we store our archives. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Yeah, rock out to Bumblefoot. You can read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire as she updates it daily. Yeah, she keeps us busy. She keeps us rolling. So that's always good. Hey, big shout out to my good friend Quest in the Spreaker chat room. He has a great podcast on Spreaker as well. And he just won an award tonight. Yeah. At the GRM down in California. He won 2 awards. Total national recognition for Quest Nation, which is his podcast. Good job, Quest. He's a former guest on this show as well. Just wanted to send you a congratulations to that. Speaking of the news, let's get to it, shall we? The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, those stories that just need a little bit extra attention. Start off with a haunting, shall we? A New York couple is a little spooked these days when they check the footage from a security camera in their living room late one night to find what they said looked like a ghost and a ghost dog, according to reports. Joey Nolan and his wife were checking on their sick cat via the camera just before 1 a.m., just on August 8th. They claim they saw what appeared to be a faint outline of a person and a small animal. The couple shared their footage with friends and soon put a clip on YouTube and Reddit. It went viral, of course. Now, some viewers say the apparition looks like a boy and a dog, or a boy, a girl, and a dog, but Nolan thinks it could be her dead grandfather. Yeah, apparently. The sighting happened on the 20th anniversary of his grandfather's death, and while he's not sure it's him, said it gave him some comfort to know that it just may be him. Skeptics, on the other hand, say they see a spider or a bit of dust, because it's always swamp gas when it comes to stuff like this, right? Always swamp gas. But nonetheless, good for them. They got a haunted house. And it went viral. Come to my house someday. My house never goes viral. Then again, I don't film anything in here, so it's probably the reason why. Here's a strange one. A Kentucky mother of 2 who searches for missing people has now seemingly disappeared herself. Andrea Knobel, 37 years old, was last seen leaving a relative's home in Audubon Park neighborhood of Louisville around 1 a.m. on August 13th. Yeah, this is according to Missing in America, the organization which she volunteers for. Around 1:30 a.m., she used her cell phone to call a friend and ask for a ride, the Louisville Courier-Journal reported. Several security cameras are located in the neighborhood, but many weren't active when she was in the area. Of course not. It never seems to be that way. A friend of Novel's says the single mother was upset and she needed a ride and was just too trusting of other people. Obviously, she was trying to get a hold of people. Maybe she got in the car with the wrong person, said Marcia Kidd, who has known Novel for like 30 years. She noted Nobel's car was recently totaled in a hit-and-run accident and said she'd been laid off work. Yeah, the group's founder, Nancy Schaefer-Smith, said Novel is a dedicated member of Missing in America, is the first volunteer to ever disappear like this. She's also called just a great person, super great girl. She's helped people locate missing teens about a half a year ago. So this lady likes to get involved. She is loved by so many people, it's all hands on deck trying to find her. Novel is described as a white female with light brown hair. She weighs between 190 and 200 pounds, around 5 foot 7 inches tall. She was last seen wearing a light color tank top and white shorts. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Louisville Metro Police Department. All right, let's move on here. I think Tom DeLonge may be getting a little bit sick of the To the Stars Academy right now. Maybe. Maybe it shows that they're going on a hiatus. Who knows? Tom DeLonge's space rock project, Angels and Airwaves, played their first show in 7 years last night, where they debuted new songs like Rebel Girl and revived throwbacks like The Adventure and Boxcar Racers. There Is. It was the beginning of a big tour that'll take them through October. To mark the beginning of their comeback tour, the band released Kiss and Tell, a new song featuring the driving new wave sounds and atmospheric hooks that differentiated from previous groups like Blink-182. The beginning of the song is really an ode to the Beach Boys, DeLonge said. But he didn't get into UFOs too much. No. Earlier this summer, DeLonge did give an in-depth interview to Rolling Stone about his work as a UFO researcher and where Angels and Airwaves were headed. He said, "What I want to do is bring back a lot of those atmospheric and soaring landscapes, and what we are doing that. So far, on the first third of the record, there seems to be a bit of that, the big crescendo when it builds and all that kind of stuff, because he's that deep. The second song that we're planning on releasing, if we still go with it, live on the iEmpire? What the hell is that? And we don't need no Whisper Records." So old Tommy, he's keeping busy. He must have lost a lot of money. And I'm obviously speculating here. Must have lost a lot of money. So he had to go back on tour to make some bucks back. Had to. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe that's just a cheap shot. I don't know. You know, a lot of teenagers, especially during the summer, take a lot of heat. Not being active, playing too many video games, causing trouble or a ruckus, stirring up things. We hear it all. We see it all with teenagers. However, a photograph of a kind-hearted teenager helping an elderly woman cross a parking lot by shielding her from the rain has gone viral. Officer Joe Holt was overwhelmed by the selfless act of the young man, named by family as Tyrea Pryor, just 14 years old in Independence, Missouri, that he followed him to his mother's car. He explained that the mom of three, Ebony Finley, she feared that her son had done something wrong, but was later left in tears after hearing about how he had helped this complete stranger. Holt shared a photograph of the scene online, showing the teen draping the woman's head with his coat as he walked her towards her car in the pouring rain. Weird. Just felt like I had a spider crawling on me, and there's nothing there. Ugh. Anyways, photos gone viral. Been shared thousands of times. Yeah, and this just happened the other day. The officer says he now plans to buy the teen a dinner of his choosing. Holt wrote, "I experienced something that actually set me back a little. I was shocked, but because I got to witness it firsthand, this kid cared less about race, religion, or color. The only thing this kid cared about was being kind." Yeah, it makes you think. Good kid. So the officer goes on to say, "Kiddo, if you see me on the street again, this guy owes you a dinner. You ever need anything, I will come running to you." Holt witnessed the incident outside a Hy-Vee supermarket where he had just parked to grab a bite to eat. After the teen performed the kind act, he watched him race back to his mother's car and enter without saying a word. Holt was determined not to let the sweet act go unnoticed. He wrote, "I told his mom that she has done an amazing job with him, and I hope and pray he goes places. She started tearing up because I was a cop and took the time out of my day to call him out on what I witnessed." Good kid. Good kid. You know, we need more of that. Definitely need more of that. Researchers have shared a weird photo of Siamese turtles. Yeah, they made the unusual discovery on a South Carolina beach, a sea turtle hatchling with two heads. Sea Turtle Patrol on Hilton Head Island posted the photo on their Facebook page, showing the tiny turtle with two heads, a condition known as bicephalec. This mutation is more common in reptiles than other animals, but is still very rare, the post said. Patrol member Jamie Davidson Lopko made the discovery while conducting a nest inventory. The turtle, dubbed Squirt and Crush after sea turtles from Disney's Pixar's Finding Nemo, was released into the ocean. Let's hope that they survive. All right. Russia has created a humanoid robot with the purpose to assist with space missions. Already this may raise a red flag in your mind, but rest assured, Russia has finally created a bot for the benefit of good. Enter the robot's name, Fedor. No, literally. Enter Fedor is the name, a.k.a. Skybot F850, a life-size artificially intelligent humanoid being. So this past Tuesday, an unmanned Soyuz spacecraft carrying Fedor successfully docked at the International Space Station. Fedor didn't pilot the spacecraft, but simply sat in the commander's seat. The docking followed a previous failed attempt this past weekend. Now, if you've seen any dystopian future sci-fi movies over the last few years, here's where it might sound a little sketchy. You see, Fedor will spend 10 days on board ISS. During his time up there, can we call him a he or a she, or do we just say it's time? I guess it's time. During its time, the humanoid robot will learn tasks performed by its human astronaut counterparts. The robot was developed by Android Technologies for the Russian Foundation for Advanced Research. Fedor is one of a series of robots specifically designed by the group since 2014 to copy human movements. Its aim is to help with high-risk tasks aboard the ISS that are just too dangerous for human beings. Fedor also comes equipped with a built-in sensors that can measure G-forces exerted on human passengers, as well as vibration and temperature readings. Yes, you see, this is all going to lead to something bad. It is. We think we're so smart building these robots now. Hasn't anybody seen the Terminator who works on robots? This is what happens. This could be the start of the Russian T-100. Yeah. I'll tell you, if this robot all of a sudden starts asking, where is Sarah Connor? Gotta destroy it immediately. Send it out the doors of the ISS, let it float in space forever. Till its batteries die. This ain't good. Terminator, man. This has been played out before. It's been played out. Don't want anything happening. Man, I don't know. The whole robot thing scares me a little bit. Really does. Getting a little too close for comfort. Maybe I'm just paranoid. I don't know. Stay away from the robots. We saw Terminator, man. And Terminator 2. And that crappy Terminator 3. Thank goodness they won't be back anymore. All right, finally. A New Hampshire woman is fighting with state officials to keep her personalized license plate that's been on her vehicle for 15 years. Papa Bravo 4, Whiskey Echo Golf Oscar. So it stands for P before we go. Wendy Auger of Gonick said she received a letter from the Department of Motor Vehicles this month telling her vanity plate, a reference to her reminder to her kids to pee before we go, is in violation of state requirements. I've been a mom for 27 years, and I've been saying this for 27 years, she said. Auger, or Auger. Wonder what she goes by. I guess the French word would be Auger. But she is American, so we'll call her Auger, said she was shocked when the state said the plate violated a ban on vanity plates referencing excretory function. It's not offensive, she says. It's what you do and everybody says to your children before you go out the door. She was ordered to surrender the plate, but Auger said she immediately decided to appeal the decision. Auger said she received a letter recently saying her case is now being reviewed. That's like up here in Saskatchewan. They canceled the plates of a gentleman whose last name is Assman. A-S-S-M-A-N. That's his last name. He got a vanity plate with his last name, and now he's not allowed to use it. Why? It's too vile. It's too vulgar. People were getting offended. My goodness, if anybody should be offended, it's him with the last name of Assman. I know. I know. Things that make you go, Just happens that way sometimes. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air. Why? It's because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. What intuitive ability would you want, and why? John on Twitter. Teleportation, cuz it's teleportation, man. Yeah, John, you're right. Who wouldn't want that? Snap of a finger? Head off? No more travel costs? Could sleep in your own bed every night? Oh, yeah. Ghost Girl wants to psychically read other people's thoughts. That's dangerous. Tarot. I'd like to be able to pick the winning Lotto Max numbers so I could pursue my lifelong dream of tracking Bigfoot and navigate the Northwest Passage. Dream big, kid. Well, John Greenwald, he was our guest the other night. He says, to know what the next day's Thought of the Dave will be so I could answer before Dave ever knew what he was going to ask. I thank TTSA for that. Absolutely. Another John, I would like the ability to broadcast my intuitional feelings to others around me so they can feel what I feel themselves and judge on their own if they should act on it. Julie says, I wish this for you, John. Cajun medicine man, no abilities, and why? To be at rest in mind and spirit. It can be overwhelming at times to see the unseen. Very deep. Graham. What I've got, my friend, is insight. Dave. To find where the missing dryer socks go because it feels weird when one ankle is colder than the other. Oh, so true. So true, isn't it? All right, let's continue on here. Caden. Secure your tinfoil hat because mine is wild, kind of like Build-A-Bear, but with a gift. I'd want to be able to see auras of objects that I'm seeking. Small example, if someone lost their ring at the beach, I'd want to be able to see it glowing. That's actually kind of a good one. I'd like to see that as well. Tim, see the future one day. Lottery, baby. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If you win the lottery, Tim, we do take donations here. Just saying. Gail, I am the opposite. I wish I could reduce mine a bit. It's like constantly being in a vortex of other people's energy, issues, and needs. It wears me out. Nikki, telepsychokinesis, far off mind movement, far off, psycho, mind, kinesis, movement. Okay. Catherine, on a walk sensing others' energy, I would stroke the tentacle of their spirit and feel the spiritual pressure. With this, I would like to add the ability to manipulate and change the flow to create a newly heightened awareness at the peak's expression. To give someone a good day and leave their day's troubles behind in the moment of Zen ecstasy. James wants the Powerball numbers. Grant, telepathy. See through all deception would probably help the world the best. Also, I want to get rich. Kevin, my dearest Mr. Scott, I would indubitably prefer the capacity for absorbing the familiarity of a tactical member. Dave, in other words, I want to know where someone's finger has been before we shake hands. Oh, my. Gabe, you get the final word tonight. I would want to know which casino machine was about to hit next. You've got to make a living somehow. Oh, that is so nice. Big thank you to everybody taking part in today's Thought of the Dave. And we appreciate you finding us on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio, at Spaced Out Radio for the Thought of the Dave, and on our Facebook pages. We also want to say a big thank you to Captain Shirk for getting our news together for the SOR Newswire. Thank you, Captain, for making that happen as well. You can read all of the news at spacedoutradio.com on our website. So thank you. Make sure you check that on out as well. And we want to say a big thank you to both Angel K and Brandie Marie for coming on, talking about what it's like to live with intuitive lives. Two very highly talented psychic ladies right there. Good, honest people, not trying to take advantage of anybody. That's why I like them. That's why I like this show. It's a lot of fun. I actually learned a lot tonight with them. So I thank both Brandie and Angel for doing that. Sometimes, hey, can't all be UFOs and Bigfoot, can it? I don't know. We hadn't done a show like that in a while. So for me, it was honestly a little relaxing, a little different, something new. Why not? Why not? Can you believe that it's a long weekend coming on up? I got Merle Morin from Haunted Crew of Canada on his way to SOR headquarters right now. Should be here in about 10-15 minutes. Looking forward to spending the weekend with him, better half, ghost hunting, Bigfoot hunting. We're going to have a blast. Hey, we got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, in our chat rooms, the SOR Space Travelers Club on Facebook, Spreaker, Revolution Radio, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, wherever you may be. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures. Thanks so much for sharing your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a good night, everybody. See ya.